Lil Uzi Vert is a rapper from Philadelphia who's been making music ever since 2014. 10 years later, he's become one of the biggest rappers in the world with a bunch of projects underneath his belt. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of Uzi's unfinished and forgotten albums. But first, I'm going to be going over a couple of collab albums, then I'm going to talk about his solo albums. When Juice WRLD was first making a name for himself in the rap scene, a lot of people were calling him an Uzi clone. A fan on Twitter said that Juice looks like Uzi. Juice WRLD responded, calling Uzi his son. On December 21st, 2017, Juice WRLD tweeted at Uzi saying, "Let's do my world versus yours." On July 10th, 2018, they dropped their first collab together titled Wasted. Afterwards, we didn't hear anything from them besides Juice WRLD previewing a snippet of Uzi's verse on the Lucid Dreams remix. On June 19th, 2019, Nick Mir made a tweet that said, "I really want to executive produce a collab tape. Lil Uzi Vert and Juice WRLD would go down in history." 6 months later, Juice WRLD unfortunately passed away, and the only song we got between him and Uzi was the Lucid Dreams remix, officially dropping on the 3rd anniversary of Goodbye and Good Riddance. Even though the collab album was never made, Juice WRLD did predict that him and Future would make an album together.
Peggy 18.
For the first time in 10 years.
Back in 2016, during an interview with DJ Small Eyes, Herbo talked about him and Uzi locking in the studio and making a collab album. A year later, DJ Vlad interviewed Herbo, and he started giving Uzi credit for his ability to rap, while other people labeled him as a mumble rapper.
Me and Uzi got a bunch of songs. We got, songs unreleased right now. We probably gonna drop an EP together, Like, that's my brother, so I know for a fact.
You gonna drop an EP with Uzi?
Yeah, that's my brother. We gonna do music. Like, we do music all the time. Like, when I go to Atlanta, I go link in with him.
Over the next few years, Herbo and Uzi released Everything, Who Run It Remix, PTSD, and Like This. Even though they collab pretty often, not everything was cool between them behind the scenes. There was footage of JT twerking in front of Herbo while he was on FaceTime, which made Uzi take a couple shots at Herbo, saying, "This girl shake ass on camera for your homie, and guys ain't your homie for real." Their last collab together was Like This off of Herbo's PTSD Deluxe back in 2020. That same year, Uzi and Future released their collab album. Uzi posted on his IG story saying, "I would never cross my brothers, we don't slime each other out like y'all do." So I highly doubt we'll ever get to hear the collab tape. On July 31st, 2022, Kodak Black went on Instagram Live and announced that him and Uzi might drop a collab tape.
Man, the Uzi, we be on some shit like we might drop an EP soon.
They never officially released any songs together, so him announcing this out of nowhere was unexpected. They definitely have a few songs in the vault, but Uzi has yet to confirm if it'll ever happen.
You still thug the slime. So the next bag that I get, I can't give you a dime. You crossed that line so many times, I no slanging iron.
On October 19th, 2017, YoungBoy tweeted saying, "On gang, this whole tape fire. Too fast, comment, I'll drop." A year later, Uzi featured on Rich Homie and What You Know. During an interview with DJ Academics asked YoungBoy about collaborating with Uzi. YoungBoy said that he doesn't have a problem with Uzi, but YoungBoy is good friends with Rich the Kid, and apparently him and Uzi still have beef with each other. YoungBoy also said that Rich and Uzi won't let bygones be bygones. Unless Rich and Uzi patch things up, I don't think we'll ever hear another song from Uzi and YoungBoy again. On December 24th, 2023, TMZ asked Uzi if he would ever make a collab album with Nicki Minaj.
Would you and Nicki ever do a collab album? Have y'all talked about it?
If she really, I'm super down. If she's with it, yes.
All right, thanks, Uzi.
I love it.
After the success of Endless Fashion and Everybody, I feel like this might have the highest chance of dropping. On January 4th, 2018, Lil Uzi made a tweet saying Uzi and Wheezy tape done in 12 hours. That same day, Uzi went on Instagram Live with Wheezy.
Hey, tell them what we got going on.
Basically, it's a strong chance of tsunami on the way. Y'all got to evacuate immediately. And the tape on the way, y'all tripping 12 hours.
Wheezy said that in order for the collab tape to drop, he wants $3.3 million, which obviously no one gave him the money he was asking for. On May 24th, Wheezy posted on Instagram with a caption saying, "Me and Uzi setting up the studio on the beach right now. We dropping Christmas 2019 at midnight. Hope you guys love it." The only songs Uzi released that year was That's a Rack, Sanguine Paradise, and Futsal Shuffle 2020. On November 29th, 2023, Wheezy posted on Instagram announcing a new single with Uzi, Nav, and Young Thug. The track still hasn't dropped yet, but I highly doubt it'll be the lead single to their collab album. Besides Neon Guts and Juggernaut, Pharrell and Uzi have worked together on a few unreleased songs, like Shoulda Never, Nothing, and Solo. With all of this material, fans were speculating that they had a collab tape in the works. Back in August of 2020, 2 songs leaked called Lonesome and Hours, Minutes, Seconds. They were both recorded sometime in 2018. The source behind the leaks responded to someone asking what was the name of the tape. The source said, No Love Lost. I'm guessing the album was scrapped because Uzi decided to rework Eternal Atake. We're probably never going to hear the tape given that most of, if not all of Uzi's and Pharrell's songs have been leaked. On December 12th, 2019, Yeat tweeted saying me and Uzi gon' have a collab tape. He said this when he only had 2 projects out at the time. In 2022, Yeat sent a message in an Instagram group chat that said only music I've been making is when I go to Uzi crib. Soon after, Uzi appeared on 2 songs off of the Geek Pack version of 2 Alive. On April 15th, Yeat tweeted saying super geeky the tape, loading, #collab. Many fans think the tweet was directed towards either Uzi or September's Rich. Yeat posted a picture with him and Uzi on Instagram with the caption saying Pink Life, which fans speculate is the name of their rumored collab album. Uzi was also featured on Flawless off of Life. A couple months later, during an interview with Complex, Yeat revealed that him and Uzi have about 200 songs in the vault, which isn't much of a surprise given that Yeat was previewing a ton of snippets with Uzi on Instagram. Uzi said that Yeat was one of the only people that knew he was in rehab. They talked to each other every day, and when Uzi came back home, Yeat was the first person to visit. Since they're both very close and have amazing chemistry together on songs, I think a collab tape would be more than ideal. I feel like I couldn't talk about Uzi's unfinished albums without mentioning 1629. I know it's basically a dead horse at this point. I previously covered this topic in an old video, so if you want the extensive history, I recommend watching it. I'm sorry in advance for the absolutely terrible mic quality. Picking up where we left off, there isn't a lot of new info. Uzi posted on his Instagram story with satanic imagery saying me and my love are about to take over the world, while tagging Cardi. A few months later, an Uzi fan page posted on their IG stories saying G5 says Uzi doesn't want to drop a collab tape with Cardi. Because according to Uzi, Cardi has been acting weird to him since 2020. Uzi said word for word, I'm not dropping no collab album with a dude who goes on and off like a light switch. He been tripped out more than I was. G5 Baby is a rapper that has collabed with Uzi on a few unreleased songs. This is just a rumor after all, especially since 2 months later, Cardi held a secret show for his birthday and previewed a new song featuring Uzi. After a few years, we finally got to hear the duo reunite on Twin Trim off of Cardi's I Am Music. Since Cardi's growth has been reaching new heights, he's been collaborating with some of the biggest names in hip-hop. He's commercially surpassed Uzi, so I don't think a collab tape would benefit their careers besides pleasing die-hard fans. There's no telling how long we'll have to wait before we get to hear them again, but it's nice to see Cardi publicly acknowledge Uzi. On March 21st, 2021, Uzi tweeted the Real Uzi 2, which is a sequel to his original mixtape that released all the way back in 2014, which to this day isn't even available on streaming platforms. There hasn't been any news about it, so I'm not sure if Uzi is still working on it behind the scenes or he just decided to scrap it. On November 17th, 2020, Uzi made a tweet announcing his next album is going to be titled Forever Young. This album is apparently going to have Uzi going back to his old style. On December 20th, Uzi hopped on Instagram Live and started previewing a ton of new snippets. He played a bunch of song sequels like Sanguine Paradise 2, Super Saiyan 2, Finesse and Hearts 2, and Sasuke 2. And a few grails like CD My Wrist, Goose Chase, and Proud of You. On January 14th, 2021, Ike Beats previewed an instrumental remix of Dark Queen. Uzi also went back to his iconic purple dreads around this time, even though in 2018 he said otherwise.
You know, I ain't going back purple. Oh.
Uzi made a tweet saying sitting here with Cannon. Which if you didn't know, Don Cannon produced tracks like Eraser Social, Money Longer, and Sauce It Up. Uzi also tweeted at Molly Raw saying, "Love you for life, now let's get back to work." Molly Raw has produced songs like Shoota, Do What I Want, and Unfazed. Even though Forever Young was looking like a return to form for Uzi, he instead opted for a more experimental sound on his next album. I don't think the record is happening, especially since Red and White was released and that EP contained some old Uzi songs. After a long 3-year wait since EA came out, Pink Tape was finally released. Only a couple weeks later, Uzi announced his next project, Barter 16, which is a homage to Young Thug's 2015 mixtape Barter 6. Uzi dyed his hair like Young Thug's and started dressing like him. He was seen in the studio working with Birdman and London on the track. Uzi posted on his Instagram stories saying, "Get Lil 1 DTE to 100k followers, I'ma drop the album next week, I promise." Uzi was in a group chat with a couple of fans. One of the fans said, "Put it on Destroy Lonely, you'll drop next Friday." Uzi replied saying, "I'ma drop it." Another fan DM'd Lil 1 DTE saying, "Put it on your mother, Barter 16, next week." DTE responded saying, "On moms." The Barter 16 tracklist was revealed by Ike Beats when he was on IG Live. During that week, Barter 16 leaked and it left a lot of fans disappointed by Uzi's sound, especially when DJ Academic said that Uzi told him Barter 16 is his best body of work.
Uzi said, "Yo, Barter 16 is sounding crazier than anything I've ever done in the last couple years." He's like, "Yo, this shit is beyond heat. This is what they fucking want." Like, he was so confident in the music. He was so confident in how good it was.
On August 25th, Rap Hood posted saying Barter 16 is possibly dropping on September 1st. London on the track responded to the post with a cap emoji. On August 28th, London tweeted saying, "Just turned in Barter 16. Unfortunately, Barter 16 never dropped. It was scrapped in favor of Uzi's next album, Love Is Rage 3. On November 17th, 2020, during a series of tweets, Uzi mentions that he's working on Love Is Rage 3. 3 years later, Connie Rose was live on Twitch playing Warzone with Uzi. She asked him about a Pink Tape Deluxe. Uzi responded saying he's working on a whole new album.
Are you going to drop a deluxe?
Man, I'm gonna drop a whole nother album.
Oh.
He also added Love Is Rage 3 to his Instagram bio. Uzi was at Rolling Loud, and he said the album would release in a couple months.
What about Love Is Rage 3?
Oh yeah, that's coming. Not too long. Probably, honestly, I know I usually be lying, but a couple months.
On October 24th, 2023, while on tour, Uzi made a surprise announcement.
You know, I'm dropping Love Is Rage 3. And, you know, Love Is Rage 3 will be my last album.
Which, if you know Uzi, you could obviously tell that was Kyout. When Uzi appeared on Kai Cenat's Mafiathon 2, he previewed Backspace. It's an old grail from 2017. It'll most likely end up being a bonus track on Love Is Rage 3 if it doesn't leak. During an interview with Kids Take Over, BK the Ruler revealed that her and Uzi have about an album's worth of music together.
There's been a video of you and Uzi, but there's no actual song that ever came out of that. And that just made me so disappointed.
We actually have a whole album of shit, to be real. But you know how it gets, whenever you cool with someone that's an artist, y'all be making mad music.
Given that Uzi has so much unreleased music, it's not a surprise that he could have an album with just about any artist he's been in the studio with. Same case for him and Metro Boomin. On December 12th, 2024, there were 7 snippets that leaked that date all the way back to January of 2023. Apparently, it was supposed to be a collab tape, but I don't think they would just quickly make 7 songs and then call it a day. That's not the only producer Uzi might have a project with. According to a fan, he says there's an entire tape of songs over Chief Keef beats from 2017-2018 filled with tracks similar to Rich Forever leaked. It is unknown the exact amount of songs that were on this tape. All of them were produced by Dolan Beats. Rich Forever leaked is a diss track to Rich the Kid. Uzi was on different timing, so I'm curious to know how this would have sounded. A random one that I'm gonna throw in is the rumored Perfect Love Tape 2. Uzi's label owns a domain under uzi.link.2/, which takes you to a page whenever you put in one of his album titles. Fans notice when you type in Perfect Love Tape 2, it refers to an official page listing the streaming platforms Uzi's music is available on. A fan page posted about it, and Uzi's label Generation Now liked the post and commented eye emojis. A popular fan page by the name of UziOg messaged Don Cannon about the suspicious link. Don Cannon replied saying it's fake. I'm not sure how a Perfect Love Tape 2 would have sounded, considering all of Uzi's album sequels sound nothing like their original projects. If there was any collab or solo albums that I'm missing, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If one of these albums could release, which one would you choose and why? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see y'all later.
I was running routes on the field, I wasn't playing fetch. I wasn't playing fetch at all, I was just dropping hits. I just wanna have it all, wanna make it rich. I know I'm gon' ball till I fall, I'm gon' make it switch. I just have my dick up at her job, better